Today's arty chat is going to be about sort of feeling like you're too old to be an artist, or you're too old to start, or it's too late to have like a art career or a creative career. If you're new, hi, my name's Emma, and this channel is all about my illustration journey. So if you want to see more chatty videos like this and studio vlogs, then hit subscribe and that bell, and then you can follow my illustration journey. And today's video is going to be like a chatting video, and in the words of Fran, it's going to be like a audio podcast. An audio podcast? A visual podcast. So you can stick me on in the background and you can do the dishes and do some drawing, whatever you want to do. Or you can just watch me drink my tea. The mug of choice today is this one from the Labyrinth. I didn't make this, I bought this. But yeah, let me know if you're a fan of the Labyrinth and if you recognise this character. I'm doing this chat because I have actually felt too old in some ways, which it sounds ridiculous because I'm 34, so I'm not really that old. I'm going to be chatting a little bit about why I think I sometimes feel like this, and it's sort of something that's in some ways kind of subconscious, like it's there but I'm not always thinking about it. It's something that I wanted to sort of talk about because I think it's something that other people can relate to, and it might be holding you back as well. This feeling comes from feeling like there's certain things that you want to have achieved in your life, and you kind of feel that there are certain points in your life that you should have achieved this by, and people are always making lists of like, oh, by the time I'm 30 I should have done this, by the time I'm whatever age I should have done this. And you have like all these like lists and goals and things that you want to do. And I think sometimes people feel that if they've got past that point, then it's like too late for them, which it's definitely not true at all. If you have that kind of mindset at the moment, that you think that it's too late for you, regardless of whatever age you are, hopefully I can give you some tips on how we can overcome this. It keeps like raining off and on today, so if the light changes, I'm very sorry. I thought I would first of all talk about sort of where these thoughts come from me. So I went to art uni a little bit late, not very late, like I was only 3 or 4 years older than everybody else in my class, and I did make some really good friends at uni. So it wasn't that the age gap was a problem there, but I think whenever I sort of thought about the fact that by the time I would finish uni I would be 26, at the time I thought that was really, really old, which it's not old at all. I just got it into my head that if you were going to do like an art career, something that is quite competitive and quite difficult to get into, I had this kind of notion that you had to be really young, which you don't have to be young. So after uni I ended up getting just like a couple of normal jobs, didn't end up drawing much, and sort of diverted off the path, and I feel like I'm kind of back on track and where I should be. But I think that kind of diversion as well, like now and then I sort of think like, oh, if I just stuck to where I wanted to go. I don't think it's a good idea to kind of dwell too much on the past, even though I can be guilty of that sometimes. But yes, I would say that my tip number 1 is don't worry about the past. There's no point in worrying about things that you can't change. I guess the only thing that you can do is just kind of learn from things that you've done. That's what the past is useful for, learning from your mistakes and learning as you go along the way. There is a quote by C.S. Lewis which I love, which is, I'm going to read it so I get it right. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Yeah, and I love that quote because it just makes you feel like there's so much kind of opportunity and that you have all this potential that you don't need to be kind of looking backwards. You can actually, do things now that will then affect where you're going to go. I love that quote. Hang on, tea break. So with that quote in mind, tip number 2 would be start where you are. So think about where you are at the moment and then also where you want to be, and then kind of find a way to bridge the gap. So for example, do you currently have a day job or sort of different commitments at the moment? Think about what time you have to spare that you can work on different skills and knowledge that you need in order to get you to where you want to be. Think about where you are, where you want to be, and then just find a way to bridge that gap. You can write down a list of all the skills and knowledge that you need. Yeah, I think one of the other issues I have with the fact that I'm getting older is that I feel that if I'm older, I should have all the answers and all the experience in what it is that I want to do. So yeah, to try and combat that, just work out, okay, so what is it that I think that I need to learn? Do I need to learn about how to do... Why did it stop recording? Okay, I'm waffling on too much, obviously. Yeah, find out what kind of skills and knowledge you need so that you feel that you have the experience to do what it is you want to do. So do you need to learn about how to price work properly, contracts, to learn how to write interesting Etsy descriptions, something I'm trying to work on. If you have any tips, please let me know. Do you want to be an artist and have your work in galleries? Do you want to be an illustrator and do book or editorial commissions? Do you want to own your own online shop? Maybe look at some people that are already doing that and then think, yeah, what are the skills that I need that I don't have? This is like a weird tea dance move. Moving on. So tip number 3 is, whilst it is a good idea to get inspiration from other people and what they're doing as a way to sort of figure out what it is you want to do, try not to kind of compare yourself and feel bad if you haven't accomplished what they've accomplished. I know that sometimes when I look at people that are younger than me and I think, oh, they've accomplished all these things. Andy J. Pizza said this on the Creative Pep Talk, that you shouldn't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. Even if you're different ages, you're going to have had different experiences, different upbringings, different lives, different opportunities, different mindsets. And yeah, so you're going to reach different milestones and reach different goals at different times in your lives. It's not going to be exactly the same. So take inspiration from people, but don't feel bad if your path doesn't look exactly the same as their path. Tip number 4 is realize that even though you have maybe wandered around and maybe not known what you've done, and you've had a different job and you haven't been doing what it is that you really want to do, that you have your heart set on, just remember that the things that you have learned along the way are transferable skills. If you've worked in an office, you might be really good at writing emails. Or talking on the phone. If you've worked in retail, you might be really good at customer service, or maybe you sort of worked at doing window displays, and so you have a bit of an understanding about advertisements, which would be good if you have an online shop. Or maybe you've worked in a school like I have, and so maybe you feel that you can teach people something. I don't know if that's true. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if your current job or even your previous job has taught you anything that kind of relates to an artistic or creative career. My last tip, oh god, I'm spilling tea on myself. I was too enthusiastic with shaking. Okay, tip number 5 is that it really doesn't matter how old you are. So I have done some research and I have found some examples of people that have had success in later in their life. Now, we'll use later, you know, because yeah, it really doesn't matter what age. You can have success however old you are. But I just thought I would share some of these. So, Stan Lee didn't create his first comic until he was 39. J.K. Rowling was 36 when the first Harry Potter book was published. Charles Darwin was 50 when he published The Origin of the Species. Actress Viola Davis had been acting for years before she found her big break, and then she ended up winning an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Julia Child was 50 when she wrote her cookbook that was very successful. And Alan Rickman was 41 when he got his first movie in the film Die Hard. So I hope that gives you some encouragement that it doesn't matter how old you are and it's never too late to follow your creative dreams. Let me know if you're pursuing something like this yourself. Let me know if you're feeling like you're too scared to start as well, and yeah, let's have a conversation. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm producing a lot more content, so don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to follow my illustration journey. Also, if you liked this video, you might like a series that I did called Excuses We Make That Block Our Creativity. So I will link that either on the screen somewhere and also in the description box. And yeah, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a nice day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.